Guy Giard has served as several humanitarian clown missions with the real, one and only, Dr. Patch Adams. He has provided care in hospitals and orphanages in Russia, Guatemala, Peru, Mexico, and India. With his background as a visual artist and musician, as well as a certified laughter yoga leader, Guy is a dynamic, engaging performer and an inspiring mentor. They say that teachers teach and students learn. But when Guy took the laughter yoga leader training with Liliane in 2014, she saw in him determination. He was set up to help change the world in a way that few of us have the courage to do. Having overcome several life challenges, Guy's rallying cry is, "Success is within your reach. Get up and live your passion." Please welcome Guy Giard.
Merci Sylvie. Thanks everyone for being here today. It's such a great event to be here. Merci Sylvie. Merci Liliane. We'll have a short question period after, so I'll be more than happy to discuss with the group about what we're going to see today. All of you are amazing. I feel it in my heart. All of you have the potential to change the world. I wish somebody had told me this before. I found a way to learn it, and this is what I want to share with you today. So this is one of my messages today. You are amazing people. So, can laughter really transform lives? What do you think? Those who believe laughter can transform lives, raise your hands. There you go. Say Yahoo! Yahoo! We're a crowd of believers. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. What I want to show you today is how laughter changed my life, how laughter brought me to travel around the world in hospital and orphanage, changing the lives of hundreds of kids and their parents and caretakers. So I was able to do this with none other than Patch Adams. So I use the expression the real Patch Adams, because who played Patch Adams in the movie? Yeah, Robin Williams. So Patch Adams is alive and well, yes, and he's 70 and he's still traveling around the world. And about 4 years ago, I decided to join him in a life-changing, how can I say? I call it an operation. Operation for myself, operation for everybody involved. Now, how did I come to this? How does one make that change in their life to actually go and do something like that? So, I reached out to laughter when I needed the most. So in this half hour we have together, I want to give you part of my journey. And also I want to give you the 3 keys, the 3 key lessons that made it possible to change my life. So these are the 3 essential lessons. Everybody say them with me. Awareness, knowledge, and experience. Knowledge and experience. Now, let's look at the first one. Awareness of your dreams. Ooh, thank you. I actually didn't know what dreaming was. Not that I just had nightmares. I mean, I had dreams. I knew that when you went to sleep, it was normal to have dreams sleep time. But during daytime, I never knew dream existed. No. So, how did I become aware of this? That actually I stopped dreaming. Actually, it was one evening. It was actually my birthday a few years ago. And we were out around Saint Laurent. We went to the restaurant. I had my 4-year-old daughter at that time. I was with my wife and another friend of ours. It was snowing, like 11-ish, and we're waiting by the bus. Now, these Montreal buses with their big mirrors by the front door? So the bus finally came, and the mirror crashed against the shelter. Now, these are shelters all made of glass. So I was there, and then I heard this crash. And then I just picked up my daughter as the whole publicity light was falling on top of us. So I backed off, and it just kind of crashed beside us. But on top of the light, then there's the top, the roof. The roof wasn't stopping. So the roof was going on, and my wife fell on the floor. So with my daughter in hand, I just look, you don't think in those moments. And I just put myself in between the roof and my wife. And I just kind of pushed myself, and it fell on me. I fell on my knee, and I was just able to shove it on the side as it crashed beside her. My wife was safe. My daughter was safe. She didn't touch the floor. Everything was good. But then, after an experience like that, you say, well, why am I alive now? What have I been doing with my life? So at that moment, I realized that I wasn't living my life. I didn't know whose life I was living at that moment. But I just didn't know, no, this wasn't my life. So the first thing I'd love to give you now is not a bus crashing on you, but all of you together, I'd like you to just put your hands over your heart. Close your eyes. And for 30 seconds, just think about, what is your dream? What is your deepest dream? Give yourself that room to dream. See it. You can breathe in it. Maybe you can even see it in color. Now take a deep breath. Open your eyes. And share your dream with your neighbor. Just for a few seconds. If you're somebody close, just turn around. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't know them. What's your dream? What's your dream? Saving the world, learning how to fly. What would we dream? Don't be shy. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. So, let's come back together for now. And I would like not you to share your dream. I would like your neighbor. In just one or two words, can a neighbor tell me what was the dream of the person next to you? Because often they're much too shy. Just spit it out. What was their dream? World peace? A big cake?
Make an impact.
Make an impact. Somebody else. What's friendships? Thank you.
Be healthy.
To be healthy. To be healthy. Yes?
Make people happy.
To make people happy. And thank you. This is why we're all here together. So this is key number one. Finding your dream, holding it. Now, once you've got your dream, knowledge. Knowledge is freedom. I want everybody to say this. Knowledge is what?
Freedom.
Again.
Freedom.
Again.
Freedom.
Knowledge is what?
Freedom.
Knowledge is freedom. Knowledge is freedom. Now, your dream is basically like a compass. It's going to show you in which direction to go. But what happens if you don't know how to dream, which was my situation anymore? So, 25 years ago, I was living in another country, and I was just going, well, there's divorce and divorce, but that was the worst divorce. And basically, I was in the streets, I was homeless. I had no money, no job, of course. And I had to come back to Canada and live with my father. Okay. My father was a man of few words, so he didn't say anything, but from his looks, I knew he says, "Guy, what are you doing with your life?" Which I kind of agreed with him, what was I doing with my life? Knowledge is freedom. So I had developed this habit of going to bookstores. How many of you here like bookstores? Ooh, I love you all. You guys are great. So that's a habit I developed. I would use to go to the self-help section and just browse around until something popped into my mind. And I found The 7 Habits of the Successful People by Stephen Covey. How many of you know these books? Ooh, good crowd. Yeah. Knowledge is freedom. And then with the internet, I found Bob Proctor with You're Born Rich, which is really corny today, but it's good information. And of course, our Tony Robbins. Now you can imagine my room, I made these gigantic posters all over the wall about I am powerful, I can do it, I have dreams, I feel love. Knowledge is freedom. So knowledge helped me, and then I got a job. And for the next 17 years, I was an art educator at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. So going from living in this homeless, no money, I ended up having a good job because knowledge. Your dream is the compass. Knowledge is going to get you there. Now, you got your dream. I'm going to give you another gift now. So, put your hands like this. I'm going to give you a check of $1 million. That's not enough. I see some of you. Okay, $10 million now. $10 million. Okay. Look at it. Close so it doesn't go away. Now, close your eyes and just think, now, what would you do with that $10 million as soon as you leave the door at this conference? Oh my God, I just heard this. I see some smile. I see, ooh. Open your eyes, take your $10 million and throw it in the air. Say Yahoo! There you go. The last key you need, and the last key that brought me to laughter yoga and to clowning is what? Everybody?
Experience your life.
Experience your life. Action. Taking action. Now, I was working in the museum. I had a home. I had money. I had my daughter. What you would call it, I had no debt. What you would call a normal, good life. And then my father died. It was the first death in my family. And I just didn't know what was worth anything anymore. So I quit work because I knew work wasn't where I had to be. I was already giving talks, so I figured I'm going to give more talks and use more humor in my talks. Because that's what people love when I work in the museum. They love my humor. Still, I wasn't able to sleep anymore. Sleepless night. I just got down and down and out. I knew knowledge would help me, but from where? And then I remember I've heard of this thing of people getting together to laugh. How strange is that? I mean, what could I lose to try this now? So August 1st at 7 p.m., I remember very well, I went to my first laughter yoga class. I jumped, I sang, I played. As soon as I stepped out of that room, I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that's it. Within weeks, I found Liliane, and I had the formation. And then I wanted more knowledge. So I started to read and to read. And then I thought of Patch Adams. I wanted to write a book on humor. And I said, I must write to Patch. And I did. And he answered back. And he said, Guy, I love your project, but I'm too busy. I cannot come and meet you. So you must come and meet me. God. I hadn't been traveling for 20 years. I was married. Impossible. So actually, I went for more knowledge. I went for more support. And I actually went and took the plane and ended up in my first clown trip. In Guatemala. Everybody say Guatemala. Guatemala. Riva, riva, riva. A clown trip. Boy, that was just amazing. So, I was there. This was a challenge. Have you ever heard something called a comfort zone? Everybody give me a good I was not only out, I was in another country out. My comfort zone. So there I was. So, in a nutshell, you get 20 people from across the world who live together in a hotel, you pack them in a bus, and then they send you to hospital and orphanage. That's it. Now, in this picture, it's a bit hard to see here, but everybody who's wearing white coat are actually volunteers in Guatemala. There's 6,000 of them, volunteer clowns for hospital. And everybody who's wearing a costume is somebody from elsewhere. Now, the beautiful thing about Patch is that you don't need any experience to be a clown. You just need to be yourself. Now, on the first outing, so we get together, and Patch, and as a good teacher, as a good father, said, how are you feeling? I was scared. So I told him. I told everyone, said, look, I'm scared. And he was totally surprised. And he said, why are you scared? I said, well, because for me, the unknown always meant danger. And I'm going into the unknown now. And what he answered was that, well, Guy, for me, the unknown means excitement. Because then I can discover new things. And then I can try things I've never done before. It's so amazing. One emotion, two different reactions. Knowledge is freedom. So we did went on our first trip. And as soon as I got out of the bus and I saw the kid's eyes, I totally forgot myself. And I became of service to this child. So there was no fear anymore. There was just discovery of love. And on each trip, I would discover more and more and more and more about myself, about love, about ways of giving love, about humor. I am not a clown. I'm funny. But I'm not a professional clown. You know, I like to play. I think it's sad that children have the right to play, and that as adults, somehow there's been unspoken law, we don't are allowed to play anymore. So, I played. I started to do push-ups with the kids. I did everything. So, here you've got two pictures, one of in a psychiatric ward, and the other one, little Yorbeli. Yorbeli was in a big orphanage. And we spent the day there. And at the end of the day, I had to let her go. And she didn't want me to leave. So I talk, and I did my best and I let her go. But then I said to myself, I said, I'm going to go home eventually to a family, brothers and sisters, but the orphanage is her home. And I felt so sad. And then I thought, what can I do for her? And I said, while I'm here, can give her all of myself. And I totally forgot of myself, and my heart just opened. And I was there for everyone. Compassion and vulnerability. I was protective all my life. I learned to be vulnerable. Then we went to other hospitals for heart operation. People who don't have the money for heart operations. And clowning sometimes means just playing. With little Anna, she needed a hug because she was going to go into an operation. So humanitarian clowning is not about necessarily being funny. It's about being available for the person. So for half an hour, I just sat and hugged her. And that's it. No clowning around. India. Knowledge will set you free. I learned about leprosy. What do we know about leprosy? Well, first of all, it's not a contagious disease. They don't know what it is. So I started to clown around homeless people in the street, beggars, people who are forgotten, people who nobody sees and are forgotten. In Peru, each major lessons I got is my love for humanity. Maybe some of you, when you look at the news, you look at politicians, you get sarcastic or you get ironic and stuff like that. When I saw those kids who are living, you can see the houses on wooden sticks there, no electricity, no running water, but I wouldn't say they're happy, I don't want to use our Western idea, but the 6-year-old took care of the 4-year-old, took care of the 2-year-old, they were so alive. And that's when I figured this is what humanity looks like when it's not civilized. And there I found my love for humanity. When on Facebook I write, I love you all, and I go like this, I mean it. When I look at you and I say you are the most amazing people there is, and you can change the world, I believe it. They are not words. This is experience I got from traveling. This is Peru. In Moscow, big contradiction. They do have money and they do have poverty. This is a family, so we started to visit in the homes of family. So you have to just imagine they're taking care of their daughter, who without the machine wouldn't last maybe half an hour. You have to think of the load on these parents, the load on these families. And the love. And when you share the love, you give yourself and you take in. You just become a better person, better human being with this. These are the 3 keys to achieve the life of your dream. Awareness of your dream. Knowledge is freedom. Experience your life. So, I'm offering you, and it's just because my book is not ready yet. So if you go online to my website, I have prepared this PDF, which is the story of my trip to Guatemala. And you're going to find a lot more stories in there. And then you can subscribe to my pre-launch list of my book. The book covers from 8 years old till basically about a few weeks ago when I finally found the love to be ready for all of you. So thank you very much. You guys are wonderful. I don't know how much time we have for questions.
Absolutely. We'll take some questions. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions for Guy, now's the time to ask. Yes.
When you were in your travels with the clowning, how did you overcome language barriers?
Excellent question. Language barriers, like in Russia or in India and stuff like that. Well, clowning, some of them are actually pantomime or mimes. I brought an harmonica. So basically, I use instruments as a voice. I had a puppet at one time, so the puppet was speaking. You speak with your eyes. You speak with your love. But it's a good question. In organized trips with Patch, there's always helpers that you can go and reach out if you really need of translation. But it's an experience where you just open yourself and language is not a barrier. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Guy, thank you so much. That was just inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
The energy that you leave, daughter, was so precious.
Clowning is a way to bring, how can I say, hope to the people. Okay? When you suffer, I'm sure you know this, you're powerless. Suffering means you cannot change anything. Suffering is you feel that nobody is thinking about you or that things are beyond you. What I do, which is volunteer work, when I do volunteer as a clown, and I'll get to that a bit later, the idea is I go see, people who are sick, people who are suffering, orphans, stuff like that, and I have my red nose most of the time. And then the idea is that when I'm with them, they have total power over me. When I'm with these people, there's nothing for me there. I go and I give myself wholesomely to that person. To a young one, or to an older one, or to seniors. You have to think how many times in your own life are you in a situation where you're 100%, not so much in control, but you have no worries, no care. And I'm there for them. And I'm not asking anything in return. So a feeling can change the world.
Life and life is living. Living is love and love is giving. When we live for love, it gives life meaning. When we live to give love, there's no greater feeling. This feeling of kindness and love's inside us. Nobody can sell this or try to buy this, cause love is priceless and it guides us, lifts us up and ignites us. Love can bind us and remind us. Love has no limit cause love is timeless. Hate and fear will try to blind us, but love unites us. Nobody can fight this cause love is righteous, and it might just save the whole world from this global crisis. Just throw your hands up if you know what the time is. Open up your heart and let it shine the brightest. Give your love away.
அடியில்லாத சம்சாரமே செறிஞ்சும் மின்சாரமே விளக்கேத்தி வாடி வெண்ணிலவே அடிசாய் மோசு சந்நியாசமே வைகோசு கன்னதமே குத்தாட்டம் வாடி முந்திரமே கண்டாங்கி 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 डाले किरके तुम गंजा बच्चा खाने.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Rich and heart very rich and heart very rich. And you know rich, your heart very rich.
Thank you. Changing the world with love and laughter. Who would like to do that? You would like to do that? Yes, please applause. Please applause. Today I want to give you a tool. I only have 5 minutes, but I do want to give you a tool. And first question, who ever felt like this? Raise your hand if you ever felt like this. Now, this is what I call the blahs. Okay, when you feel the situation is hopeless or you're having a bad day, I want to give you a tool to transform the blahs into the yay. Everybody give me a yay. Yay. Nouvelle respiration, vous sentez, vous prenez de la paix. Et vous envoyez de l'amour. Là, on prend la paix. Là, on envoie l'amour à tout le monde dans la salle ici présent. Là, on le sent. On prend la paix encore. Là, on envoie à tous les gens de Saint-Eustache. Et là, une dernière fois, vous prenez la paix encore. Et là, vous l'envoyez à toutes les personnes qui ont besoin d'amour sur la planète. Je vous remercie. Vous êtes absolument merveilleux et merveilleuses. Merci beaucoup.
All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.